Welcome again. This is the second and final clip in the ride around Goulburn. The last one we just crossed the Sydney Road and we're going on to Glenelg Street on the left-hand side here. Left-hand side you can see Mary MacKillop Rose Garden and Tennyson Woods Park, and on the right-hand side is the St Joseph's Convent and St Joseph's Primary School. Mary MacKillop, as you may know, is Australia's first saint, and she was the founder of the Order of St Joseph's. And we're just turning off Glenelg Street into sorry, I forgot the name of this street. Mulwarry Street, I think this is. Yes, this is Mulwarry Street. And I'm about to go over the railway line, and then we'll be in East Goulburn or East Grove. So the upper and lower Stern Street this is, and then just around the bend here it becomes near the bridge. It's ahead May Street. I think at the moment it's still called Lower Stern Street. You may be able to see on the left hand side the Mulwarry River walking and running track that's only just recent. I think it opened in about June or July, and it's part of the complex of, or the network of walking and running and cycling tracks around Goulburn, one that I frequently run on and have featured in a number of my running videos. Going across the May Street Bridge now. This is a replacement bridge for the old one that was much lower down and the road was always closed because of flooding. On the right hand side is the Goulburn Wetlands. That area used to be a brickworks at one stage back in the 19th century. The brickworks was abandoned, and a group of volunteers have turned it into the wetlands. I'm sure they get some advice and support from the Goulburn Mulwarry Council and perhaps the New South Wales Department of the Environment, but most of the work is done by volunteers. The blue material you could just see on the left hand side there is all part of a new estate that's opening up here in Goulburn, in East Goulburn or Goulburn East or East Grove. At the moment it's a pretty ugly scar on the landscape, but I'm sure when it's all finished, the houses are built and it's landscaped and so on, it'll look much better. Just going along May Street here, at the moment coming up to the intersection of May Street and Park Road at Goulburn East Public School. Taking longer to get there than I thought it would. I've just come to that intersection now on the turning right back towards town. On the left hand side of the road here is Goulburn East Public School. On your left hand turn into Eleanor Street. Down the front of the school, down the side of the school. East Grove is a residential suburb that has a school, but unlike Bradfordville, no shops. There's a little corner shop across from the school there that there used to be, but it's been closed for a number of years. It's hard for those little corner shops to compete against the supermarkets. But you can see again that it means that people here who need bread or milk have got to get in their cars and go over town. Now, it's not a big journey, but it's the necessity of having to do that, and the congestion and the extra traffic on roads and so on. This road we're on or street is called Glenelg Street. And at the bottom here we're going to turn onto Forbes Street and head towards Bungonia Road. This area here is quite low and is subject to water. When there's heavy rain, there'll be water over the running track or the footpath on the side here, which is I think it's called the Bungonia Road shared track. You can see it on the right hand side. It's another one of those courses that I frequently run on, and after heavy rain there'll be parts of this that are underwater, and that might take a week or two for it to clear. A lot of road work done on this road recently as part of the redesign and rebuild of the Bungonia Road Lansdowne Bridge. The road was realigned to make it the intersection a little safer. Still not as safe as it ought to be, but a little less dangerous. You'll see what I mean as we come up to the intersection here shortly. So if you were to go left here, you would go out towards the airport. You go right, you're going back towards town. You can see there's a stop sign, and the traffic coming down from the airport sweeps around almost a blind bend here. This is the Lansdowne Bridge that was opened, I think, in either 2018 or 2019. And you're coming up on the right-hand side shortly, you might be able to see the red tower of the old Goulburn brewery. Just now on the right-hand side. This road is called Bungonia Road because it leads you, and if you're going the opposite direction out towards Bungonia, and if you've watched some of my other videos, you might remember me going out this way towards Windelama. This is a small settlement about 36 k's east of Goulburn. Make a left turn here and go along the Braidwood Road for a little while. And again, you've watched some of my other videos, you might remember me making a trip out to Braidwood. The area on the left-hand side is the Goulburn Recreation Area, a place where the Goulburn Show is held. The Goulburn dog racing track is there. It used to be the race course and the harness racing, but the race course and I think also the harness racing or trots have moved out to Kenmore probably a decade or so, more than a decade ago. On the left-hand side here is the Viola Stadium. We used to just call it the basketball arena, but now it's called the Viola Stadium. I think they do indoor netball there as well as basketball, which is probably why they had to change the name. Coming up on the right hand side shortly will be the Railway Heritage Museum and Roundhouse, and also what used to be the service centre for XPT trains. Back in the day, Goulburn used to be a big rail centre, but over the years as the railways have been whittled down and staff have been reduced, the importance of rail has declined, and the XPT service centre was moved to Orange, I think 5 or 6 years ago as part of an election campaign. These two bridges that are coming up here are the north and south lanes of the Goulburn bypass. So if you're going on the highway, instead of going through Goulburn, you'd go across these two. We go across the northbound one if you're going to Sydney, and southbound if you're going to Canberra, of course. Just past on the left-hand side, there are a property named Goulburn, which is the ancestral home of Hamilton Hume, the explorer, who, along with William Hobble, were the first two white people to explore the route between Sydney and Melbourne. I'll make a right-hand turn here, and just a little bit along this road, about 200 odd metres along, is the railway bridge again. So we've gone over the railway line before, now we're going under the railway line. You'll see the warning sign here warning about a low bridge, because people coming from the coast who take this route with their caravans have been known to have the air conditioning unit smashed off because the caravan's too high for the bridge. So the warning sign here for it now. This road is called Sloane Street. I thought it was called Goulburn Road, but it's called Sloane Street, this part. And you're taking the left turn here, that is Goulburn Road. And this is about 2 kilometres long and leads me back onto the highway at the southern end of town, where I can go to Canberra or Yass. I've run down this road a couple of times and I've made some running videos about it. I have thought recently about running up the road. It's not all that steep, it's just one long sort of rise, if you like, is probably the best way to to describe it. So I'm still speculating about whether I'll do that or not. Maybe if I do, I'll make a running video of it, or a video of me running it. You might just be able to see on the right hand side the highway runs almost parallel to this road. You see what I mean about it not being steep but just being a continual rise, so you wouldn't get to a point where you got onto a flat for a little while and got your breath back, got your legs back again. You'd just be running uphill all the time. Almost at the top of it now, and I have to be a little bit careful here because there is a cattle grid. Further down this hill and on the left hand side is the other side of this hill here is the abattoirs. I don't think many cattle escape, but be a bit careful because they can be, when it's cold weather and icy weather, those cattle grids can be quite slippery for motorcycles. Now, if you saw that sign there, if I were to continue to the left here, take the off-ramp, I would be back on the Hume Highway and go towards Yass or Canberra, but I'm just going to go on the large roundabout and go back into town. And I've mentioned in some of my other motorcycling and running videos, up here is the takeaway food precinct of Goulburn with a variety of choices, including the Golden Arches and several choices of chicken and so on. I'm not recommending any of them, I'm just saying that they're there. And coming up on the left-hand side shortly is the men's equivalent of shoe shopping. That is, you go to Bunnings and you sort of wander around for hours and hours, and occasionally maybe you buy something, but you just look at lots of things. At the moment, I guess it's pretty difficult to go there and buy stuff anyway because it's out of stock, or you've got to sign in and all that rubbish. Also here, I'm turning off here to go into the Woolworths service stations here, not because I've got any affinity with Woolworths, but I knew I was getting low on fuel and I wanted to go on a longer ride, and so I pulled in here to get petrol. And as you'll see, rode in, saw that all the bowsers were surrounded by temporary fencing for some reason, without any signs indicating that the bowsers were out of operation or anything. So just rode out again. Maybe I see this other bloke on the motorbike in front of me. He's obviously subscribed to the theory that loud pipes save lives because a little bike it made an awful lot of noise. So on the left-hand side here is the functioning Goulburn Brewery. It used to be the Coles Retail Distribution Centre, but now it's a brewery. A little bit further down here, just coming up near is Goulburn's equivalent of Auto Alley with the Kia and Ford dealer on one corner, and across the road from him, Toyota, Nissan, Suzuki, MG. I'm not sure what other brands they sell. Seem to be selling quite a few MGs at the moment. Not recommending them, just saying I've seen a lot of new MG cars around town at the moment. I suspect because they are cheap and cheerful. I don't know whether they're any good or not, and I suppose you wouldn't know for 3 or 4, maybe 5 years. This here is called Hume Street. And I'm heading obviously in a northerly direction, so back towards the CBD. Mostly residential along here, but there is a large Wesfarmers and some gyms, and there's a couple motor repair places and things like that. And further back up near the big marina is a big box pet store and boating, camping and fishing in one of those places. This section here is where we are now, is mostly residential. I'm just making my way down, I think it's now Cowper Street. There's a Coles Express service station at the bottom here where I'm going to pull in and got some fuel. I just pulled in here, got some petrol, paid the man, kept going. So thank you for watching. This clip's about to end, so I'll say thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you again when I'm doing another video. Thank you for your time, and enjoy your day.